I'm going to be talking today about Tyson from the show Married at First Sight. He's very controversial here in Australia. Now, I'm going to be talking about some of his views. I think why some of them, not all of them, please listen to what I say when I say not all of them, are a good example of what men actually do need to stand for these days. And he has been absolutely raked over the coals here in Australia. He's been called a misogynist. So I'm going to go through and break down some of the things he says, what I agree with, what I don't, and what could be really positive for men in this exchange. So let's get into it and let's get a bit of a background on Tyson.
Being in the army has shaped me a lot as a person. I'm very disciplined. I'm very structured with how I do things.
Good example, discipline and structure. That's exactly what men should be. He's been in the military, I think it was for 6 years. So order and structure and discipline in his life is pretty good.
Dating now to find the one. I want to make sure that she has the same beliefs, the same values, and the same morals and principles as me.
Great example as well. The same beliefs, values, morals, and principles as him. I actually think that's absolutely essential in a relationship to have shared vision, shared values, and shared purpose of the relationship. I speak about this extensively. So this guy knows what he wants.
You know, I wouldn't want a woman that's woke.
And that's okay to not want a woman that is woke. It doesn't mean that you judge them for being woke on some level. However, you know, if you're a man looking for a good, solid relationship and you're masculine, you're not going to orient towards someone that's woke anyway. They're generally not going to want to get married and have kids either. So it's a complete mismatch. So I would avoid that if you're a masculine man at all costs. I agree with him here, and I think it's a good example to know exactly what you want.
What would be a woke woman for you that you would just absolutely not be able to cope with?
A woman with green hair, that's the first red flag. A woman that's a complete feminist and hates men.
Never, ever date a woman that hates men.
A woman that hates Donald Trump. I personally like Trump.
I don't think politics should play a big part in relationships, if I'm being honest. If you're basing it that you love Donald Trump, it shows really a lack of ability to critically think here.
Tell me, you know, in terms of, I guess, a deal breaker, what would they be?
So, big one is if they have children. I'm not here to look after someone else's kids. That's not my job.
I agree with him on that. If you're going to date a woman with kids, I just would tread carefully. I would examine the situation based on what the relationship is like with the ex. That's really important. How involved the ex is in the life of the children. Is he willing to sit down with you and talk to you about it if you want to do it? It's a tough one. And it's generally, you get all the responsibility with zero authority with those children. There are always outliers to the cause. And this isn't about single mothers. This is about your situation as a man. You have a right to not want that. You have a right to have your preference. Women have their preferences too. Generally, it's around status and resources, physicality, height. That's perfectly fine for them to have those wants and those demands and expectations. You as a man are allowed to have equal expectations and preferences for your relationship. The problem that comes in is when you judge the other person or make them less than for their situation that doesn't align with your preferences. And that's very important to take on.
If this girl likes to go out and party and have girls' nights every weekend, that ain't for me, and she knows where the door is. They're my big deal breakers there, John. And also, I'd say like a full-blown atheist as well.
This dude's just super traditional, and he's getting rinsed for it because he's a traditionalist in that form. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a traditional relationship. You just got to match with someone that has the same views. It's no difference to someone that's super progressive or a feminist wanting a man that has feminist ideals as well. Like, go do it. Have that if that's what works for you. But don't rinse someone or say that they're not allowed to have it because it goes back to the 1960s or it's regressive. If progressive was that progressive, our society's fucked at the moment. And the issue around that is that they demonize stable families, men that want to be the protectors and providers as somewhat controlling, and that's just not the case. It's not the case. You can't blanket statement something like that.
I don't want a woman with a high body count. That's another huge red flag. It tells me that she's probably got daddy issues. I'm not after a girl that has daddy issues.
Okay, like someone's history should be something that you want to take notice of, whether it's a high body count, whether they've whether they're bankrupt or whether they've got terrible financial decisions or whether they come from a broken home or substance abuse. These are important questions to ask someone if your preferences are based around wanting a long-term stable relationship. So I'll play the next one here. This is where he gets into a bit of heat here in Australia.
I don't want someone that's going to bring masculine energy to a relationship. Because if you bring masculine energy and I'm bringing masculine energy, it's like two alpha males sort of colliding. It's going to create a storm.
There are a couple of alarm bells going off. I am very much central in my opinions with regards to wokeism, MAGA, femininity.
So she will want him to accept her views, but she won't necessarily accept his views.
Are you expecting your wife's career to take a backseat to yours?
If there's children involved, yes, definitely.
See, a lot of people hate that. And women are the ones that are built to nurture and to raise children. That's one of their strengths. It's one of the gifts. It is the gift of the feminine, is the ability to give birth, to bring life into this world and to nurture that and to take that precious, innocent child and nurture it into a small person and then into an adult later on. I don't see why that is so controversial for people. Women are adept at that. They're built for that. That's what makes them so amazing and so beautiful and so precious that they need to be protected, is for that reason.
I'm quite surprised that someone like him has these views.
You can see that this show has lined these two up for the very rating bonanza that they're getting from it. They're getting so much attention here in Australia.
It's giving manosphere.
So if you ever get told that you're manosphere or red pill, just ask the person to define it in 3 points. Most people can't.
If you were to get into a relationship, like for instance with this marriage, do you think that you would play like that submissive role?
See, this is where he went wrong. He didn't articulate this well enough. And this is language that he's learned outside of this show without probably really understanding what that actually means. You know, if you want a woman to be submissive, firstly, I would say you want her to surrender to your leadership. Submission doesn't mean the taking away of rights. And it doesn't mean a loss of autonomy, but in many relationship frameworks, relationship submission does not mean loss of rights. It means role alignment or voluntary deference in certain situations. It doesn't mean you lie on the floor, you can't do anything, you're chained to a rim or anything that like they make this out to be with this guy.
No. Not in this day and age. Not when there's too many women out there chasing their own goals.
Yeah, and I've said this many times before, that really masculine men don't find that attractive. As much as that will be to the disappointment of a lot of women doing that, really solid masculine men are just not going to find that attractive. It's not a judgment on the women. It's just not an attractive trait because it is a masculine trait. Go back and watch one of my other videos. Harvard Business School actually proved that masculinity is objective and so is femininity, and it's stereotypical based on traits they bring into the workplace. You can do that if you want as a woman. Go do it. Live for that. Like, if that fills you up, absolutely go for it. But a really masculine man's probably not going to want that. All right, now we'll get on to the double standard. This is the one that created a lot of inflammation in public spheres.
How many sexual partners have you had?
I don't know, 20 to 30. It's not that many, I don't think. But that number could be a lot higher, don't get me wrong.
Why would you go on this show? Like, honestly, why the fuck would you go on a show like this? Like, where do you get to in life where you're like, I know what I'll do. I'll go on a show called Married at First Sight. I'm that bad at being in a relationship that I don't have the ability to meet someone in any other way than going on a show called Married at First Sight. And now we're talking about body count. This is a real hot topic in the social sphere at the moment.
I think I've had about 20.
About 20, okay.
How does that make you feel?
And obviously these are all partners that you're in a relationship with any of these people, were you?
No.
That is a red flag. And I would tell men to avoid that for the most part with that. 20 people and she's never been in a relationship and she's 32. This shows like that's a risk. You know, I would say that relationships are an investment. And when you're looking at a relationship from an investment standpoint based on logic, you're going to look at high risk versus low risk investments. And someone that's slept with 20 people and no relationships whatsoever, I would say that's high risk if you're looking for marriage and children. That shows that she really doesn't know how to be in a relationship. That's not just about finding the one or anything like that or any soulmate or any garbage like that. there, I would say that there's a real issue there around that, and I would avoid that personally, and I don't blame him for wanting to avoid that.
Are you making judgments of me based on that number?
A little bit of a problem.
What is the problem? Tell me what the problem is.
I think the problem is that you've never been in a relationship before, yet you've slept with 20 guys. That's the problem. The problem to me is like you enjoy lust over actually finding that soulmate.
But I've never found that soulmate.
Yeah, I know.
And a lot of it was like in my early 20s. I mean, we all went and partied then.
Yeah, that's not a justification. And again, right, you can live however you want, but at some point you're going to have to pay the debt or clean up the things that you've done in the past. And that's a consideration where a guy like this, it is a double standard on his side. He shouldn't have the same expectations or different expectations of a woman when he's engaged in that. The problem is he judges her for it. Now, I'm saying it's a red flag because it is a red flag. I'm not entertaining this woman as a dating potential. This is for other men out there. I would see this as a red flag. If a woman doesn't have an ability to be in a relationship, when a woman's biology is based on oxytocin, they're wired for connection and relating. They're wired for relationships. So if she doesn't have that, I'd say there's going to be real problems later on if you decide to marry her or have children with her.
He's slept with more people than I have, yet my number was too high. I bit my tongue for the sake of maintaining a civil conversation today. I haven't had sex in 3 years.
Well, credit to you. I'm almost tempted to give you a high five, quite frankly.
That's just an arsehole thing to say. Like that's a prick of a thing to say there to her. Like that's demeaning. And he could have done that in a better way and been more of a gentleman about it.
But I just love watching him judge me because it says so much about him.
She's right. It does say so much about him. Where the issue lies again is have your preferences, but don't judge the other person for not falling into those preferences. Where I think he represents a good example or can be a positive example is I do believe that more traditional based relationships are healthy. They're about complementary strengths, not about sameness. Our society is trying to force us into the field of sameness with one another. Men are trying to make women more like men, case in point here, and women are trying to make men more like women in the term of vulnerability, openness, and sharing. Where I think Tyson is a potentially positive example is he's clearly fit, he's strong, he's been in the military, he honors discipline, value, morals, principle, and values around his life, and especially for a relationship, and he knows what he wants. Now, do I think he's a good guy? I don't know. But all I can do is base it on this. And where he went wrong in this, I think in saying the aspect of submission without clarifying it. And also, if you want that from a partnership with a woman, you got to fucking earn that. That's not something that you just get as a man. So you better be a good leader. You better be a good provider. You better be a man that knows where he's going and is calm and is emotionally safe and secure for her to earn that. That is a prize that you need to earn. It should not be expected or demanded upon, probably like he really wants. So I'm going to leave that there. Subscribe to my newsletter below if you want to understand a little bit more about the deeper constructs of immature masculinity that we saw here in some level. Then get the ebook as well. It's splitting from the mother and the nature of that. And I will see you in the next one.